Right now at 6, visitors by the thousands look for ways to stay cool at this year's Marion Days event.
And we have another alert day today as dangerous heat continues. Heat index values for some of us back up to 115 degrees. We also have a few rain showers. We'll take a look at that in the future, forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a local HVAC company has some tips on keeping your air conditioner in working order.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Thursday.
The
it's
4
also
states' most watched news starts now.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did. In case you were unaware, it's Thursday, guys. It's August 1st.
Yes.
We're doubly starting today. But yeah, it's August the 1st. Here we are.
We cruising through summer.
Yeah, we are. And July, again, we had nice temperatures, and I regret saying this, but I knew it was going to happen. A couple of weeks ago, I said, at some point we're going to end up having to pay for these below normal temperatures, and unfortunately, we have been, and we continue to do so. Let's start, though. We do have some rain showers out there. We're going to start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Not nearly as much activity out there as there was even just an hour ago. Still seeing some showers attempting to redevelop across parts of southeastern Kansas. Okay. Well, now that's only halfway working. Mainly around Burlington, Garnett, and a couple of stray showers southwestern Bourbon County out there. Not much. They try and flare up, but as quickly as they do, they tend to die out. This radar is not going anywhere that it's supposed to. I apologize about that. I'll have to look at what's going on here. And we have a few showers back into northeastern Oklahoma, and that's really about it. But what it has done is all of this rain, at least for now, has brought us cooler temperatures out there. So we're just going to get right to that. First, though, this is why we still have an alert day. We have excessive heat warnings most of southeast Kansas. That's for heat index values up to 115. The heat advisories are for heat index values anywhere from 105 to 110. So still not much improvement, but at least a wee bit cooler on those heat index values. As we head into the afternoon, we're going to look at partly cloudy skies. Still hot today, temperatures upper 90s. A couple of lower 100s possible, but they're not going to be nearly as many of those as we head into the afternoon as we've seen the past couple of days. Will otherwise be dry, and then we'll see rain chances, at least for some of us, late tonight. We'll talk about that in a moment. Look at these temperatures, though. 69 in Pittsburgh, 70 in Joplin. Most of us 10 to 12 degrees cooler this morning than where we were at this time 24 hours ago. 68 in Neodesha. The majority of us into the upper 60s, low 70s. Still some upper 70s out ahead of the rain, but not that bad out there. We will still heat up. Could still see a couple of storms try and fire out there between now and say 9 a.m. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies, highs upper 90s across the region. As I mentioned, though, we still have some rain chances tonight, and with those rain chances, some slight improvements in our temperatures. We'll take a look at all that in the full forecast in a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Well, the wait is finally over for a Missouri man wrongfully held behind bars for 34 years. Christopher Dunn walked out of prison Tuesday despite efforts by the state attorney general to keep him locked up. A judge overturned Dunn's murder conviction earlier this month and ordered his immediate release. But the state attorney general appealed to try and keep Dunn behind bars. Dunn's release came after the state Supreme Court ruled the Department of Corrections did not have the right to keep Dunn jailed because he no longer had a conviction on his record. Well, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly visited Independence yesterday to help break ground on an expansion and renovation project at the Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center. The $7.9 million expansion will include a new cancer infusion center, rural health clinic, and patient testing labs. It will also provide upgrades to the emergency department, ultrasound services, and add 17 patient exam rooms. Construction is expected to be completed by June 1st of next year. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Marion Days in Carthage is set to begin today, and thousands have already made their way to the Maple Leaf City, with some setting up tents and camping out. However, high temps this week could make staying cool and safe difficult. Many attendees have found shaded areas to stay out of the sun, and many people are either wearing hats or using umbrellas to fend off the harmful rays. For those who've traveled from around the country for the Vietnamese Catholic festival, the experience is worth having to fend off the heat.
Well, me and my friend John over there, we were just going through the auditoriums, like it's just blasting AC in there. And plus, like compared to Colorado is like hot, but it's not like humid. So like it's like a whole big shift, you know. Yeah. Like after your showers, you're always feeling like really, how do I say it? Like just sticky in general, you know. It's horrible. But at the end of the day, it's still worth it to me, I guess.
Marion Days officially begins today and will run through Sunday. High temperatures put extra strain on air conditioning units, and this makes HVAC repair businesses more busy during this time of year. KOAM's Melissa Alexis went to an AC repair call in Pittsburgh to learn more.
One of those neck wraps that you can wet, just to help make it more bearable.
With the high temperatures, it can be difficult to stay cool. But for the Worsley family, the heat is extra difficult because their air conditioner is broken.
It does feel muggy. It just feels like stale air.
I rode along with the Wallace Heating and Air HVAC professionals who are repairing the Worsley family's AC unit.
Ripping out the old system, putting the new system in.
Chris Wallace says it's important to do maintenance on your AC unit before something breaks.
Preventive measures you could take is taking a hose outside and run it over your condenser and make sure those coils on the outside are clean.
He says AC units, like the one right here, are in overdrive during summer months, and ordering a replacement part can take weeks to come in, leaving families struggling in the heat.
With working from home, it can get tiring. I need to obviously look, decent and, feel comfortable sitting at a desk and being on camera. I'm on Zoom meetings.
Wallace says during summer months, their company sees a huge uptick in AC repair calls. He recommends turning your AC down while away from the home for long periods of time.
The more you kick it off and on, it's like a light switch. You're running its value up and down, and then eventually it's going to go out.
He says yearly maintenance checks are important and could help you avoid a lingering problem that could lead to an even more expensive repair. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Wallace also encourages people to clean their AC filter and change it out when necessary. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. We're only weeks before classes begin, and another FAFSA setback could delay financial aid for college students this fall. Plus, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are both turning their focus to Black voters. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Thursday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning. Hiring dropped off in the U.S. private sector last month while wage growth continued to slow. Payroll processor ADP data shows private sector employment increased by an estimated 122,000 jobs in July. That's much slower growth than the month before, which saw job growth of 155,000 positions. It was also well below the expectations of economists. ADP data also shows annual pay gains for job stayers slowed to 4.8%. That's the slowest gain seen in 3 years. Pay growth for job changers sank from 7.7 to 7.2%. That's also a 3-year low. The Federal Reserve is closely watching jobs data for any signs that the ongoing slow and steady cool down could slip into an outright weakening. Only weeks before classes begin, another FAFSA setback could delay financial aid for college students this fall. On Tuesday, the Education Department said colleges will not be able to submit corrections in bulk to update students' financial aid records. It's the latest setback in the launch of the new free application for federal student aid website, also known as FAFSA. Colleges have been waiting months to send batches of corrected records, and it makes it easier to quickly make revisions, especially important for large institutions with hundreds of thousands of corrected records. Submitting revisions manually could delay student aid disbursements, leaving some students unable to pay their bills and fees on time. Well, the presidential race is heating up with former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris both turning their focus to black voters yesterday. But this morning, Trump is facing growing fallout after he questioned Harris's racial identity at a gathering of black journalists. Leah Mishkin has the latest on the controversy in the 2024 race.
Last night, former President Donald Trump returned to Pennsylvania nearly 3 weeks after surviving an assassination attempt in the battleground state.
I shouldn't be with you, but I am.
Hours earlier in Chicago, Trump sparked controversy at the National Association of Black Journalists convention when he questioned Vice President Kamala Harris's racial identity.
She was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
Harris is the daughter of a Jamaican father and Indian mother. She attended the historically black Howard University and is a member of the nation's oldest black sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha. Harris responded to Trump's attack at the gathering of another historically black sorority in Houston.
It was the same old show. The divisiveness and the disrespect. The American people deserve better.
Trump's comments also drew swift rebuke from the White House.
It's insulting.
Trump's running mate J.D. Vance defended him while rallying in Arizona.
He's running to be president for all Americans. He's already got record support from black voters, Hispanic voters, union workers, and many other Americans who have been lied to and betrayed by Kamala Harris and the fake news media.
Today, Vance will tour the southern border. Harris will speak at the funeral of Texas Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Leah Mishkin, CBS News.
Also starting today, Democratic delegates begin their virtual roll call vote to officially select the party's presidential nominee. Vice President Harris is running unopposed and has already been endorsed by more than 3,000 of the nearly 4,000 pledged delegates. Voting ends Monday, August 5th. That's the same day Harris is expected to announce her running mate. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've had a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, even had some strong to severe storms early this morning. Skywatch Storm Tracker again showing just a few spotty showers here and there across the region. And you can see where we had that band of showers and storms roll through earlier this morning. Could still see a couple of spotty showers between now and say 9, and then it's going to be another hot, muggy day with an alert day in place today. We'll have a look at your forecast when we come back.
While most days Amazon drivers are focused on completing their deliveries, they sometimes also serve as a watchful eye on neighborhoods. For a Washington Amazon driver, that attention to detail helped him realize someone's home was on fire. Brady Wakayama has the story of what the driver did next.
Fuad Ali has made thousands of deliveries for Amazon over the last year and a half. But last week, he went the extra mile.
I think this is the craziest thing. I won't forget this. What just happened on July 23rd.
On that day, his main goal wasn't delivering packages. It was to save lives.
Job is second. The first important thing is to make sure humans are nobody's inside the house. Because the house, it can burn. We got insurance for them. But just the very important thing is to make sure nobody's home.
The home he's talking about is what's left of this Burien house. It was engulfed in flames when he encountered it on his route, a scene he couldn't ignore.
If I didn't go and probably knock on their door and just mind my own business and continue my route, I would have felt bad, really bad.
He called 911 as he tried to get inside. He and a neighbor began kicking the door, eventually breaking through.
When we entered the house, there was already white smoke coming from the roof. I knew that we had to do it really quick.
Ali says they were in there for 30 seconds, which felt more like 30 minutes, before the homeowner returned to the house from walking her dog, telling them she was okay and no one was inside.
And I'm really grateful that he was so brave that day.
Many in this neighborhood consider Ali a hero.
Honestly, yeah, that was my first thought when I heard him shouting, "Someone call 911," and he was banging on the doors. I immediately heard him and thought, wow, that's really incredible and really heroic what he was doing.
Would you do it again if you had
Of course, yeah, we'll do it again. Yeah.
Turn left onto Shorewood Drive.
But our humble hero just wants to deliver this message.
I'm not a hero. Everybody should just look for each other.
The homeowner says they're grateful for the quick action by the Amazon driver and their neighbor. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we do have another alert day today for dangerous heat across the area and a few isolated showers out there this morning. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:22 now on this Thursday morning. We're starting with Skywatch Storm Tracker. So most of the bulk rain has begun to dissipate and just kind of fall apart out there. But as you can see, we have a few scattered showers and even a couple of trying to be thunderstorms out here in our northern counties, west of Mound City, around Garnett. A couple of showers south of Chanute, north of Parsons there. Nothing significant, nor are we expecting anything else significant this morning, but we could see some light redevelopment. Last of these showers now heading just south of Grove, heading into Jay. And of course, if you're traveling on I-44 back down toward Tulsa, getting a decent little thunderstorm, nothing severe, but nice little heavy shower down there, and one just exiting the Claremore area as well. We had technically 2 rounds of thunderstorms. We had a first round, which if you look close, this is going to be it dissipating. When it was still a little stronger, it did bring a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings for Bourbon and Crawford County earlier this morning. Then we had that second round that developed back behind that. Nothing severe with it, but it also died pretty quickly. And then if you watch the loop, you'll see we've had a number of showers and storms try and redevelop back behind all of that, but most of them have been struggling to get going. However, as we head into the overnight hours tonight, we could see another round of showers and storms, some of which could be a bit on the strong side. Maybe some small hail and gusty winds, primarily along and south of I-44, with a cold front that's going to push through later. Now, unfortunately, I know you hear cold front, you're thinking, oh, good. It's really not going to drop our temperatures significantly, but it will have a bit of an impact for our weather over the next couple of days. Today, though, again, an alert day today. We have dangerous heat out there. Highs, most of us upper 90s. We're only going to see maybe a couple of 100-degree readings out there, which is a very slight improvement over the last few days. And we get that front that's going to pass through late tonight, and then that's going to trigger very quick development, as you see here, of some showers and thunderstorms. Now, we could see some a little further north than that, but the majority of the activity will be along and south of I-44, and it'll move out quick, but it'll flare up rather quickly too. So these storms could become strong very quickly in our area, but then they will also exit very quickly. And then we're just going to go back to dealing with heat, but we're going to have reduced humidity levels and dew point levels as we head into Friday and Saturday. So even though it's still going to be hot out there with temperatures into the 90s, the humidity and dew point levels will be a bit lower between Friday and Saturday. It'll feel a little better out there for us. Not significantly so, but it'll be slightly better. All right, so for today, we have the last, at least for now, of these heat advisories and excessive heat warnings. In the excessive heat warnings, that's heat index values up to 115. For the heat advisories, we're talking 105 to 110, but all of these set to expire late this evening, which is good news because, again, the humidity levels are going to drop over the next couple of days. Don't forget, number of extreme heat safety tips on our website, including, again, I keep referencing it. You should check it out. It's a great graphic that explains the warning signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion and heat stroke because we're still in that point where either of those could be possible. You got to take it easy. Look at this beautiful sunrise this morning from those leftover clouds from the rain. 70 in Joplin, dew points up there, but more manageable. It's 68, and our temperatures across the area, most of us 10 to 12 degrees cooler this morning where we were yesterday. We got some upper 60s, low to mid 70s out there, so a great start to the day. We're going to have partly cloudy skies, and again, maybe a few of those isolated showers and storms trying to redevelop between now and 9 a.m. Hot, upper 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs today, again, back into the upper 90s. They'll be again a little cooler, low to mid 90s Friday and Saturday, but this break from the heat is short-lived. As we head into next week, sunshine is plentiful, so is the heat, back in the lower 100s, maybe a couple of thunderstorms toward the end of next week. That's Check Your Forecast. Now here's Elise with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, one side effect from the COVID-19 pandemic was a sharp drop in confidence in the medical system. Researchers at Massachusetts General Hospital used surveys of 400,000 adults and found trust in hospital physicians declined from 71% in April 2020 to 40% in the beginning of this year. The lower the trust, the less likely an individual was to get vaccinated for COVID or influenza. Well, breakthrough new research in DNA repair could help create better cancer treatments in the future. Researchers at the UK's Medical Research Council say they've identified how DNA can repair itself from environmental damage like sun exposure, alcohol use, smoking, and pollution. The discovery could make cancer drugs more effective, especially against cancers that are chemotherapy resistant. And putting a tax on sugar-sweetened beverages like soda could help improve the health of young people. A study published in JAMA Network Open studied 4 California cities where taxes were implemented and found body mass index declined when compared to cities without a tax. The differences were most significant for kids under age 12 who were overweight or obese. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, MoDOT invites the public to weigh in on some potential projects.
And we have another alert day today. Some of us could still see heat index values up to 115 degrees. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door, coming up.
Plus, some local kids host a cool way to beat the heat and raise some funds for a cool cause.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAL Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's August the 1st. It's Thursday here in the 4 states. We had some showers and storms, even some severe weather early this morning. Not dealing with that now. We will not for the rest of this morning, but we could see some strong storms late tonight.
Okay.
We'll go over all that in a moment. Now, I do want to take a moment, though, something I haven't had a chance to show you. Take a look at this sunrise this morning from 7th and Rangeline. Our camera there looks absolutely beautiful. The cloud cover, the colors, it's a great mix out there. And even from the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline, got a little bit of a purple tint to the sky out there looking back to the north. That's because we've had scattered showers and storms. Now, most of the bulk activity has fizzled out. We are seeing some storms attempting to redevelop across parts of southeastern Kansas. So around Garnett, Mound City, a few showers around Fort Scott, just west of Nevada as well. A couple of little spotty showers near Erie. We've had activity attempt to redevelop back behind the 2 lines of storms we got this morning. It's had trouble, but those storms up there are starting to hold their own. And the bulk of the heavy rain now out of northeastern Oklahoma, just a few showers heading into Jay. That's really about it out there. We had 2 rounds of storms. The first one brought some severe weather to Bourbon and Crawford County early this morning. The second round did not bring any severe weather, but much needed rain. And then again, you can see where we've had a number of showers and storms flare up back behind it and then die. But these ones are doing okay so far. We'll see what they do, and we could still see a couple of isolated storms through the morning hours. We have excessive heat warnings for most of southeast Kansas through this evening, and that is for heat index values up to 115. And then in the heat advisories, that's heat index values 105 to 110. Some good news, though, all of these set to expire this evening. And that's because of a cold front that's going to push through later tonight and bring us that chance for some additional scattered storms. Ahead of that, though, we still got to deal with at least this day of dangerous heat across the area. Temperatures upper 90s, a wee bit cooler. We're not going to see nearly as many triple digits out there as we've seen over the last few days, but still, nonetheless, dangerous heat to have to contend with. Got a refreshing start to the morning, though. 70 in Joplin, 69 in Pittsburgh. Our temperatures 10, 12 degrees cooler than where they were yesterday. Upper 60s and low 70s for most of us, and some mid 70s out there. But again, very refreshing start to the day compared to what we've had the last few mornings. Unfortunately, again, still going to be hot. Could see those storms out in southeast Kansas still try and flare up, maybe a few isolated storms through 9. Most of us remain dry, partly cloudy skies through the day, and we're looking at highs again into the upper 90s with those heat index values, especially in southeastern Kansas, pushing upwards of 115. We're going to have some brief relief from at least the high humidity levels and dew point levels. We'll talk about that and when the dangerous heat returns here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll check in with you in just a bit, Chris. Well, MoDOT invited the public to a meeting concerning needs in the region. The meeting took place yesterday at the Public Safety Training Facility in Joplin. MoDOT asked the public to weigh in on the list of needs from around the state and provide feedback to help establish future funding priorities. MoDOT officials say this is an annual process.
If there's a concern, again, we do this every year, so there's a time every year we're updating priorities, updating our identification of what needs to be done, and so new needs can come onto the list in a subsequent year.
Comments can be submitted through August 23rd using the comment form we provided on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Well, some kids in Pittsburgh have a big idea for staying cool and helping others. Nana's House played host to a grandkid-operated lemonade stand yesterday, and they raked in the bucks. What made the event even sweeter was the kids' decision to donate the money raised to St. Jude's Children's Hospital and some local fundraisers for kids in need.
It sounded fun, and I did it at daycare once, and I thought it was really fun. I just like helping people, and I feel like it makes me a kind person.
According to Nana, also known as Karen Thomas, the kids raised $156 for St. Jude, and they'd gladly take more donations. The Crawford County Fair kicked off yesterday in Girard, Kansas. It features tons of events, including animal judging, live music, and a barnyard Olympics. We sent photojournalist Ty Parks to take it all in.
So the judge has a certain thing that they look for, and so we bring in outside judges from outside the county to take a look at the foods that are brought in. They look for things like texture and taste. The judges probably have the best job in the food and food preservation group because they get to taste everything that comes in as far as baked goods, and then they evaluate the canned goods from the preservation side, from the different university guidelines like headspace on a jar and how well it's filled, and if there's any bubbles or if the chunks aren't consistent in the vegetables that they're processing. A lot of people wonder, how do judges tell? You can tell by the type of crust, you can tell by the care that they put into actually making the pie, and definitely you can tell by the taste.
So our main mission is to support the Angels Among Us, which is the nonprofit organization that provides funds for local cancer patients fighting cancer. We help patients afford wigs, we supply gas cards, help with grocery bills. So that's what the Angels Cafe, that is during the week of the fair, supports. Last year we raised it was a little under $20,000. All our money stays local. Nobody is paid to do this job. It's all 100% volunteers. So all our profits go to support that. And plus, it's really good fried chicken.
The Crawford County Fair runs through Saturday. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A new lawsuit alleges that StubHub tricks customers into paying higher prices online. And dangerous heat continues. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, more people are finding ways to ditch plastic razors and swap them out for a more sustainable option. Environmentalists say the timing couldn't be any better as more than 2 billion plastic razors end up in landfills nationwide every year. Skylar Henry spoke with several experts who say out with the new and in with the old.
At Henry's Barbershop in the nation's capital, the traditional shave is the standard. Shaving cream, warm water, and a single razor. It's a classic combination that Mark Hero, owner of the shaving review site Sharpologist, believes works best.
How often are you shaving?
I generally shave every day.
Hero says one reason he chooses a single blade over all the disposable multiple blade razors on the market is an environmental one.
One advantage of the old school safety razor is you have a single blade by itself that you can simply toss out or recycle as a fully metallic item without any plastic.
The Environmental Protection Agency estimates every year some 2 billion disposable razors are tossed out. That's more than 63 razors going into landfills every second. And it can take 100 years for that plastic to break down. Now, several companies are selling a simple solution, old school razors that don't get tossed. That includes Karen Young's company, We the People.
The sustainability element of that just really went hand in hand.
Her razor is completely plastic-free and launched a sustainable skin and body line now found in retail stores nationwide.
Starting with the razor really set a foundation for the business that I actually hadn't quite known was possible.
Opportunities cut from simple concepts that she hopes make a lasting, environmentally friendly impact. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Well, a new lawsuit alleges that online ticket seller StubHub tricks customers into paying higher prices. The lawsuit filed by Washington, D.C.'s Attorney General claims the company hides mandatory fees until right before shoppers make their purchase, boosting the ticket price by up to 40%. StubHub says it's committed to ensuring a transparent platform. Well, chocolate lovers, listen up. Newly published research from the George Washington University found that of 72 cocoa products studied, 43% had higher than acceptable levels of lead and 35% had elevated cadmium levels. Organic products were also found to have higher levels than non-organic. The findings, which were published in Frontiers in Nutrition, suggested people shouldn't stop eating chocolate, but rather to eat less of it. And IHOP is the latest restaurant chain to launch a $5 promotion. The breakfast chain says it's offering its $5 all-you-can-eat pancakes deal during back-to-school season to help families whose wallets are pinched from shopping. The deal runs through mid-September and it follows competitor Denny's launch of its value menu with items ranging from $2 to $8. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we got a great sunrise out there this morning. We've had the cloud cover from those dying batches of showers and storms, which has just led to this beautiful image out here from our camera at 7th and Rangeline. Looking pretty good from MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline in Joplin as well. Most of us dry, but we have seen some redevelopment of some new showers and thunderstorms now in the northern portion of our area. So around Garnett and south of Mound City, we have a couple of thunderstorms out there. Nothing strong or severe. And then we've got spotty little showers that are trying to flare up here and there. We've got this one that's southwest of Nevada. And a few spotty showers here and there. Most of the activity it's tried to redevelop behind those two lines of storms has struggled, but this activity, again, it's not strong or severe, nor is it expected to be, but it's actually managed to hold its own and intensify just a little. And back into northeastern Oklahoma, all we've got now is just a stray little shower north of Jay. We had some good rain along a I-44 corridor earlier, but that has since dissipated as most of this activity has just completely fallen apart. But it has kind of left a new environment for these storms. We had others that tried to get going right behind this line, didn't really do so successfully, but we're getting some new pop-up storms here and there. We still have excessive heat warnings for a good portion of southeast Kansas through this evening. It's heat index values up to 115 and heat advisories for the rest of the area through this evening, and that's for heat index values 105 to 110 degrees. So still dangerously hot, still why we have an alert day today. As we look on the future track, at least just in this afternoon and evening, we're still going to be hot again with our temperatures as well, upper 90s, but maybe only 1 or 2 100-degree readings out there. Little improvement. We'll have another foliage forecast here in just a moment. We're also going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries, but first, let's see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, NBA legend Dwayne Wade sits down with Jericka Duncan to discuss the importance of his family, life after basketball, and his love for creativity. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Thursday birthdays in the 4 states. We're going to start with Dylan Dothit, celebrating birthday number 15. Says happy birthday, love mom, dad, and Gentry.
And over in Chitopa, happy 21st birthday to JJ Best. It says here, happy 21st birthday, Uncle JJ, from your 2 nieces, Maisley and Layla.
And we've got Michael Fulstein celebrating birthday number 61 in Iola, with love coming from your family.
And over in Webb City, a happy 98th birthday to Fred Horst. Says here he's a World War II Navy veteran and the Fox general manager over here at KOAM's Darren Dishman's stepdad, which is pretty cool. Happy birthday.
And we've got Shane and Tori Beth Miller celebrating their 3rd year of wedded bliss. It says it's coming with love from your entire family. Happy anniversary.
And over in Arma, happy 44th anniversary to Dave and Cindy Ashmore.
And our list continues with Randall Ivy celebrating birthday number 76 in Columbus. Happy birthday.
And happy birthday to Lee Bennett.
And we've got Lee Bennett and Cynthia Hilburn also celebrating their 8th year in a domestic partnership. They're not married, and I had a neighbor like this. She has had her boyfriend 30 years.
Oh, wow.
They never got married. That's how they liked it. Sometimes that works out. So a happy domestic partnership anniversary to the both of you.
Yes, and over in Pittsburgh, a happy 60th birthday to David Miller.
And we've got Archie Wallace in Fort Scott celebrating birthday number 77.
And a happy birthday to Melissa Lawrence.
And getting the graphic all to himself is Ron Ball celebrating another year wiser in Granby. A very happy birthday to you. Now, this was a great list of birthdays and anniversaries. Here's the only problem. The majority of them were no pictures, and we love seeing these photos, and I'm sure your friends and family love seeing their photo on the morning show too. So Elise, how can they help us out here?
Yes, go ahead and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays at KOAMNewsNow.com. As Chris mentioned, be sure to include photos if you so desire, and of course those birthday messages too, and to meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen.
Absolutely, and we would love for you to so desire to include some photos, because we love seeing those, and who doesn't love seeing those photos? And who doesn't love seeing some rain? After the heat we've had, a lot of us love seeing it. And we had a couple of good rounds of showers and storms. In fact, even some severe storms rolling through Bourbon and Crawford County earlier this morning, just after midnight. And now we've got just some redevelopment taking place back across parts of southeastern Kansas. So around Garnett, north of Mound City, and southeast of Mound City on 69 and 169. Showers and storms up here. Nothing strong, nothing severe, but at least a little more rain. And these thunderstorms are still trying to hold their own. We've had a number of storms try and redevelop up there, and they've all kind of just died out. Into Oklahoma, though, that's the last bit of rain we have. Just a little stray shower northeast of Jay and one near Bull Hollow, and that's it. We had a good line of rain through northeast Oklahoma this morning. It has died out. We had the 2 rounds of showers and storms. The bulk of that activity's fizzled out. And again, initially behind those storms, we had some redevelopment. But until this line died out, these were really struggling. But now that there's nothing out here eating up any more energy, we are seeing these thunderstorms again get a little more organized. We're not anticipating them to be strong or severe, but we could continue to see a few isolated storms through the morning. Then tonight, after midnight, we're expecting a cold front late this evening, and that could trigger some additional storms. Some of those could be strong to severe, or at least low-grade severe, with some small hail and perhaps some gusty winds, mainly in the southern half of our viewing area. We could see some storms develop north of that, but they are expected to be intensifying as they quickly dive south. There's a fly out here that has decided my face is its favorite place to be. On the future track, we have got another hot day. It's why we have an alert day. Temperatures upper 90s again. One of the good things, and it's only a slight good thing, we're not looking at nearly as many triple-digit readings out there. We're going to be close, but we're looking to remain below the triple digits for most of us, but only by a little bit, so you won't really notice it, but it's nice to be able to say that. Then you see, around midnight, we get these storms rapidly developing along this front in the southern half of our area. And again, some data suggests we could see them develop a little further north than that, but the better chance for them to intensify is as they dive south late tonight into early tomorrow morning. And then as we go into our Friday, it's going to be hot, but thanks to that cold front, do you see these wind arrows? They're blowing out of the north. Air is going to dry out a little bit. Lower humidity levels, lower dew point levels. Still a bit muggy, but not nearly as bad as what it has been. So these temperatures between tomorrow and Saturday are going to be a little more manageable for us. So still, again, hot, but a little more manageable. We'll have one more look at your forecast here in just a moment, as well as news you need to know. When we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to hear how a family dog is reunited with its family after getting lost on vacation.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Christopher Dunn, who was wrongfully held for 34 years, was able to walk out of prison on Tuesday. A judge overturned Dunn's murder conviction earlier this month and ordered his immediate release. The state attorney general appealed to try and keep Dunn behind bars. Dunn's release came after the state Supreme Court ruled the Department of Corrections did not have the right to keep Dunn jailed because he no longer had a conviction on his record. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly visited Independence yesterday to help break ground on an expansion and renovation project at the Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center. The $7.9 million expansion will include a new care infusion center, rural health clinic, and patient testing labs. It will also provide upgrades to the emergency department ultrasound services and add 17 patient exam rooms. High temperatures can overwork air conditioning units, causing them to fail. This can leave households in an uncomfortable situation. One way to keep your AC unit is to keep the filters clean and changing them when needed. It's also important to keep up with AC maintenance because if damage becomes severe, repair costs can go up. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And a quick reminder, we do have excessive heat warnings for most of southeast Kansas through this evening. That's heat index values to 115, and heat advisories for the rest of us. Those are still heat index values for 105 to 110. So not a lot of relief from the heat today. We're still looking at highs upper 90s, but we will be a little better Friday and Saturday. A little less muggy out there. Still hot, but not as muggy. So enjoy it while it lasts because it's brief. We go back into the lower 100s heading into next week, with our next chance of some kind of relief toward the end of next week with a few showers and thunderstorms.
All righty. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making chicken spare ribs in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Ahead on CBS Mornings, a questionable move from the Federal Reserve yesterday to hold interest rates at a 2-decade high. Jill Schleichinger will join the show to explain why rate cuts could actually come sooner than you think.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Joey Williams and Jaron Cox will join us in the studio to talk about the annual Baxter Springs Rodeo.
Plus, Angie Ben and Matthew Wells from Bourbon County Community Theater also join us in the studio to talk about their upcoming production. Lots going on. Don't forget, could see some thunderstorms late tonight as well. Some strong storms possible in our far southern counties, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. And a few isolated storms possible between now and 9 a.m. That's it.
Yeah.
That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.